Greetings and salutations, my name is Downtrend doing Fire Emblem Heroes, talking about Ninian. You and I are going to go over this Infantry Dancer Dragons matchups and different builds for her, but first, let's get her digits. So with her being a dancer, she's basically a support unit, so her BST is going to be a bit low compared to other people. Even though that she's a dragon, that's still not going to completely save her, but she's not safe from the normal benchmarks, 35, 32, and 42. She hits 42 on hit points, which is great. She's really close on speed. She doesn't quite make it on defense, although honestly 27 is a nice honorable mention in this part. And 24 attack. Yeah, whenever you can give away 1 point per hour and you have nothing left for yourself, that's not a good score. Before we move on though, I wanted to note that I don't have any Banes or Boons highlighted, and here is why. Mathematically speaking, you could have a Bane at resistance and you're not going to notice. You do have some hit points left over after anybody who doesn't kill you pegs you, which is great. However, she's on the cusp of basically every threshold because of the way her stats are balanced. Any boon you get is going to be great. Any Bane you get is going to be debilitating. So here's the thing. If you have a question of, oh, I have plus this, minus this, is my Ninian good? It's a dragon, it's a dancer, it doesn't have garbage resistance. Yes, your Ninian is good. So let's go ahead and compare her to her contemporaries. Looking at hit points, you can see here that I definitely mixed things up. Before I continue, we have dancers in here, specifically Azura, and we have dragons in here, as well as infantry. I mean, she has more titles than a Targaryen at this point. So let's just go ahead and run through all of these. Hit points, she's pretty much right in the middle there with Corrin, Azura being the lowest, Naui being the best dragon, and there's Ephraim there as well. Attack-wise, the person rocking the suburbs here is Lucas. Azura is pretty much right in the middle, and Ninian is in the garbage fire that is at the bottom. Speed, Corrin is actually rocking this one. Ninian's right there in the middle. Really, for the most part, like I said, she's at that cusp where more points really helps. Taking away points really hurts. And the slowest of them all is Lucas, because Lucas is then rocketing back up to the top for defense. And sharing the bottom, hugging each other, crying in the corner in defense is Ninian and Azura. Azura comes back up to the top, and she is only 1 point the superior to Ninian and Naui. And so that's why I clustered them up there. All the way at the bottom we have Lucas, and barely the superior by a point or two is Corrin. So let's go ahead and take a look at what a Dragon Dancer does on the battlefield. Light Breath Plus, this is an inheritable breath weapon. Might of 13, good might on a breath weapon, but you know, it's on Ninian, it's still not fantastic, just because of that 24 attack. Yay. But anyway, whenever you smack somebody, and it pretty much is a smack, all of your adjacent allies get +4 to their defense and resistance. That's pretty cool. And then, of course, Dance. This is a non-inheritable assist skill. It's going to go ahead and give one of your allies an extra turn after they've already gone. No, you can't dance and sing to someone who has dance or sing as an assist skill. I think that was probably just so that the AI doesn't sing and dance each other back and forth on the enemy phase for hours on end, but hey, whatever. As far as what else she comes with, we can see that Escape Route is her B slot here, and that'll let you teleport away whenever you get hurt to any adjacent ally, any side of them. So that's really nice. That really is a good escape. And she comes with Fortified Dragons. So far, this is the only skill that would go towards Dragon Emblem, if you will. And if you're not really running dragons, well, she has Fortified Defense running up to this, so you can always buff that up so that you can help out your non-dragon allies. Speaking of things not dying, and dying, or everything and nothing all at once, let's take a look at the obituaries. 10, 6, and 136 draws. You're really on the downside of all of those draws, by the way. She's not a fighter. She's definitely a lover, and a please do something for me. You can see here that everybody here is red. You can see here that everybody is slow. And with the exception of 1.5 of them, nobody here has the resistance to talk about. Dragons hit against resistance, not defense. Ninu's, not Ninu. Bah, wrong person. Ninian is definitely no exception here. So that's what we got looking at here. As far as people who hurt us back, I mean, we have a couple of people here. I mean, we have the most of the rainbow. we have some people that are the swiftest and craftiest and steals our money and then kicks us while we're down. Thanks, Anna. We also have Hector here because not only did you go against my advice and initiate against Hector, but you decided to go ahead and use a blue to attack a green. So I don't feel any remorse for you here at all. So if you want more advice that you're probably not going to follow, let's talk about building her cheaply real quick. Moonbow is a fantastic thing to put into her skill slot for her special, and if you're looking at something to buff her up a bit, Fury 3 is where it's at. It gives her stats all the way down the line. You don't really want her to keep fighting, so taking 6 damage is not a big deal. Even in chain challenges, Tempest trials, anything, it's not going to matter. And the best part is it works towards going to let her use escape route. If that's not an option for you, attack 3, speed 3 are probably just as good in the long run. I recommend speed 3 over top of attack 3, even though that one's at the bottom, because that does give you that slight defensive edge to not get doubled in certain cases, and that really does help out a lot more. Although attack is always useful. Before we talk about complete retrofits, let's talk about what makes Ninian Ninian. So yeah, we see that she doesn't really hurt a lot of things, but her main role is to stand there and dance. Dance, 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 dance. She puts you to shame at DDR. Whenever she's on the battlefield, you want her to go ahead and follow people around, and you know what? Go ahead and let her take that hit. Because whenever she gets that hit and she's going into escape route range, she could just jump all over the place. The wonderful thing is that you can use escape route to go next to somebody and dance for them. They're then going to get another turn. That is wonderful. Having Ninian on the far right side of the field, making her go all the way to the far left side of the field, that is where it's at. You could also use her to escape route next to somebody and maybe just kill off a red that's by a green. You know, you have some options there, and they're all wonderful once you use escape route. I already talked about just relying on her fortified defense instead of fortified dragons if that's the team you're running. And we already saw all of her cheap builds, so let's go ahead and look at some more expensive builds. 13-6, 133 for this build, or 11-11, 130 on defense. Well, what are we defending here against? We're giving her lightning breath from one of her besties. This is going to give her a distant counter, which is very, very nice. Now, she doesn't have a huge hit. However, this is going to screw up people's calculations in PvP arena. And more importantly, thanks to our B slot trade out of Tonebreaker for red, we take care of all the reds. If you don't have a plus attack on your Ninian, you're going to be taking care of all the reds that matter, at least in PvP. If you do have a plus attack, you're taking care of all the reds, period. If you go into later content, you're going to need a buff in order to help keep that going, but hey, that's okay. You could sit there and just say, oh, I'm poor, helpless, defenseless, something else-less Ninian, and get hit by a mage and then laugh at them as they go. Actually, she probably wouldn't laugh at them. She'd probably say sorry or something like that. But anyway, regardless, she's way too polite. That's why you need to buff her up like this. This is a nice thing to give her. Fury 3, of course, helps you against every single thing. If you're doing something hero like this and letting her be bait, you need to be able to go ahead and cover all the bases. And I recommend Honed Attack 3 here for a couple reasons. One, anytime you have a dancer, I think that they need to have Honed Attack. You probably also want to develop her Fortified Dragons. You probably want to get Fortified Defense 3 on her eventually. But Honed Attack 3 is one of the best options on here. The next idea, of course, is you can go with a Spur Attack, so that if you teleport next to somebody, they have that little bit extra bump whenever you make them dance. Let's go ahead and talk about the last build I have here. Only 2, I'm very sorry, but this one uses Dark Breath, and this sort of lets you know what I think of Light Breath. It's not super great, guys. Unfortunately, it just does not pull through for you, so you might as well switch out to Dark Breath, throw that penalty down if she actually needs to attack. I've always said that if you don't have Wings of Mercy as your B slot on a dancer, you're not building them right. This one actually gives you that Wings of Mercy there for your middle slot, and it's the nice thing about this is that while you might have to finagle the battlefield a little bit to be able to get to use it, you don't have to have Ninian get hit. Other people who are supposed to be on the front line, supposed to be doing another job, they're the ones getting hit. You teleport next to them, you dance for them, they finish their job, or you could move somebody who got hurt a little bit too soon into a position where Ninian can be teleported in to be able to either finish off a red threat or make someone else dance who you need to have come up from a sort of a reserve type area. I put Swift Sparrow 2 on here just to have that 21, 1, and 124 on initiation. It's not necessarily crucial, so if you want to go back to Fury 3 or one of the other budget options, by all means do so. And hey, do me a favor, if you're on mobile, rotate your phone to portrait mode. If you're on desktop, hit escape to leave full screen mode, and hit that like button if I've given you something to chew on. If you missed any of the latest Fire Emblem information, tap or click any of the links on the left. And if you like your information hot and fresh like Grandma's cookies, hit that subscribe button. My name is Deltran. Thank you guys so much. I greatly appreciate all of you. And until next time, take it easy.